Hello again, welcome back everyone. LiquorHound here with you, and thank you for joining me once again for another spirit review video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a couple of bourbons. One released fairly new, within the last couple months this one came out, and one that is about to come out next month. And so, when I first, let me talk about this Penelope first. When I first bought the Penelope Marshmallow Toast, there was a lot of talk about it and, big expectations coming out because who doesn't like marshmallows, right? And this is marshmallow toast on a barrel. And so when I saw it in a store, I decided, you know what, $90, I'll pick it up. I think it was $92. So it came out to pretty much a $100 bill right out the door. But when you read the front, marshmallow toast, char 1, heavy toast, 110 proof. On the side, it tells you 4-year-old age statement. But good proof. I was happy about that. So we'll go ahead and give it a taste. Now, the one thing to note about this one is if you see it out there, consider yourself lucky because, again, most of these kind of flew off the shelf. But they are going, it being a success, they're going to follow it up. They'll probably make it, at least annually it'll be coming out. So hopefully take this for what it's worth. And if you see it out there, and you feel like grabbing a bottle now, All right. Now, on the other side, the one that's coming out May 3rd at the Distillery, Ironroot Distillery there in Denison, Texas, which I work at, full disclosure. Of course, never try to hide that. It's in every one of my video descriptions because I am the blender on the Saints Alley side of things. So when you go to Total Wine, you see Saints Alley Bourbon or the Nobleman Rye. Yes, that's the thing that I really work on, and that's my baby, right? So on the Ironroot side of things, the sleight of hand, that's 100% Jonathan Likarish, our head distiller and blender on that side. He does everything over there. And so, really, I had nothing to do with this blend. So I'm going to be as unbiased as I always would be with all my reviews because, again, anytime I review something, it's like, for me, I'm putting my stamp on it, right? That's my name. When I sit there and I tell you the notes that are in these bourbons, those are the notes that I'm getting on the bourbons. I'm not going to sit there and hype them up for you and tell you, oh my goodness, it's exactly like a toasted marshmallow on the stick when it's not, because, again, that's my reputation. And I want you to be able to go out there, taste this bourbon when you get it, and get the notes that I got, or at least close to it, right? Because, again, oxidation plays a little part there. But if you let yours breathe, you're more than likely going to find the notes that I'm talking about. I'm not going to sit there and tell you it's, again, something it's not. Because, again, I've been doing this for 16 years now. And that's just never how I rolled, right? It's always been about, I buy these bottles to review for you because I like them and I think you'll like them. And it was always about helping consumers make smart buying decisions. That's what the LiquorHound channel has always been about from day one, still is to this day. I'm not out here asking distilleries, Penelope, send me a bottle so I can review, or I'm about to review the new Jack 12. I bought it. I know a lot of reviewers got it sent to them. Must be nice. But I don't ask for that kind of thing. I don't want that kind of thing because I want to give you straightforward, unbiased reviews. All right? Okay. So now we got that out of the way. I can tell you what sleight of hand bourbon is. It's a blend of Kentucky and Indiana column distilled bourbons that we source. Bring them down to Denison, Texas. We age them up there for a year or 2 years. That part is identical to what we do for the Saints Alley side of things. Then we add in some basically Ironroot pot distilled bourbon, essentially the Harbinger bourbon, goes into that blend. And then that blend gets created and proofed down to 92 proof for sleight of hand bourbon, the regular sleight of hand bourbon, which if you go anywhere around the country into Total Wine, you'll be able to find it for $35. It's very approachable. Again, easy drinking. You can mix it, sip it. It's a workhorse, man. 92 proof. It's great. Now this one, the special edition, Mother of Texas Whiskey Edition, is Jonathan's gift to his mom for Mother's Day. Because when you open it up, it says, Mom, this is a whiskey I made for you. Happy Mother's Day, Jonathan, in his handwriting. And so for this one, he did a double-barreled version of sleight of hand bourbon. And this is something I think they're going to be doing new on that side, which is taking the sleight of hand base and going into either American oak barrels or European oak barrels or a hybrid oak barrel, meaning it's American oak staves, European oak heads. And so they'll be doing this double barrel maturation Possibly even doing like store picks, group picks coming down the road of maybe you just want a cool French oak cask matured sleight of hand. You can get that. But we'll see where it goes. But I do know this is American oak and hybrid oak barrels that were selected for this blend. Again, still 92 proof. Price point's only going to be $45, maybe $49, depending on the retailer. Okay, we're going to start there because it is 92 proof, the lower of the two. On the nose. Good grief. For that price point, that's a crazy nose. Okay, I'd say the thing that sticks out the most is brown sugar. Golly, there's a lot of different sweet characteristics here. It's brown sugar, a little maple, a little almost like cola syrup. And the baking spice component is definitely here. Apples and figs, a little plum, red berries in here, cooked down. Matter of fact, take all those fruits, put them in a pot with that brown sugar, a little maple syrup, cook them down a little bit. That's what's in this glass. It's sweet, it's fruity. There's also some nuttiness element to this one. I would call this one almost like mostly pecan, almost like yeah, it's almost pecan pie with that sweetness, but it's pecans. I would call that's about it on the nose, but there's also a big clove hit, and I love clove in bourbon. So sometimes it can get out of hand, but here it's perfectly balanced. There's some chocolate in there, and a little bit of oak. The oak doesn't pop like on the nose like it's just going to be all in your face. I'll say that. All right, here we go on the palate. Medium viscosity, solid medium viscosity. That's lots of flavor. Interesting. Okay, here we go. Let's start at the top. Brown sugar, the maple syrup, touch of molasses in there as well. There's almost a little, very touch of almost like a little rummy aspect with that molasses tone. Lots of chocolate, lots of leather, reasonable amount of oak on that back end. That clove, the baking spices there on the mid palate, but it doesn't get hot. There's not a lot of cinnamon on it, thankfully. I'm not a huge fan. When cinnamon gets all in your whiskey, to me, yeah, unnecessary. That nuttiness of the pecans shows up fairly early, right before the mid palate. You'll get the pecan in there. Pecans and walnuts. There's also walnuts. A little bit of that bitter walnut element is in there. Then it kind of rolls over, just eases as those baking spices were right there, rolling over onto that shaved, chunky chocolate. Leather and oak, sweet oak, staying sweet. Lots of those cooked down fruits and berries are in there, just like the nose. They're in there. The thing that I find super interesting is that cola aspect that I was picking up on the nose is in here on the palate, and it's almost like, this is going to sound ridiculous, like sometimes I'll get cola syrup in a bourbon, right? This one has it, and then every now and then you can almost pick out exactly which cola it is. And for this one, it almost feels like, if you remember RC Cola, like that syrup. Oof, so enjoyable. Now you'll also pick up a little orange oil on the back end. I love it when bourbons get orange oil because that's a sign of maturity as well. Wow, that's got a lot going on, and it is great. For that price point of 40, even if it's $50, I, oof, I'm trying to think, is there another $50 bourbon right now? The Woodford Double Oaked is really nice, but it's a little less complex than this one. Solid, it's really good. I recommend Double Oaked to a lot of people that are getting into bourbon and like look for a little more depth in this regular Woodford. And the Double Oak's always available. It's really good. The only other one that comes to mind that has this kind of impact would be that Wild Turkey 70th anniversary 8-year-old that they came out with. That one was a great buy. I think it was like, I guess it was about the same price. Yeah, $40, $50. But what happened to that one was once it got time to breathe, ooh, man, it got a lot of coconut on it. It got really, really good. And I'm hoping, because this has only been open a day, I shared it with some friends yesterday. I'm hoping this bottle uh, gets some more of that coconut once it breathes. Highly likely will with that American Oak Double Barrel. But it's already much more complex than even that Wild Turkey ever was in the beginning. So I'm expecting really good things here. Again, the only sad thing about the Mother of Texas Whiskey Special Edition is Texas only. But if you have any friends coming through Texas, it's a big state. This is going to be pretty much everywhere. Any retailer, Total Wine, Specs, Goody Goody, Twin Liquors, Seagulls, they're probably all going to carry this thing. Even the smaller, mom and pops will probably get this one. So, um, yeah, you have a good chance of finding it. And the finish just runs. Good grief. That's going to be the most impressive thing to you on this one is the finish. How long, I mean, it's great, all those complex and nuances and stuff, but how long this thing lasts on the palate because of that pot distilled iron root that's in that blend, that's ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Penelope, let me get a double rinse here. Penelope, Marshmallow Toast, 110 proof, so a big jump in proof. Here we go. That's a good bourbon. Lots of chocolate. Lots more oak on this one. There's clove and anise. Cooked down fruits, but this one is a little more round. Everything fits a little more tighter into a ball here. As far as the sweeteners, it's more like brown sugar. Brown sugar, a little bit of molasses. There's no maple in this one. This one's just molasses and brown sugar. I would call this one baked apples. Maybe a little bit of like little plum. Baked apples and plum. Touch of sourness in here, which I like because again, when bourbons mature, that's the other thing that'll come up is a little bit of like almost like an apple cider vinegar that kind of starts to join things and it'll eventually turn into like a mahogany polish. This is like the little bit of apple cider vinegar stage where it's just a drop in there. But again, that really nice cocoa oak thing, the citrus oil, the orange oil is in here, but heavier on the oak. A little honey. Very nice. All right, let's taste it. Ooh, solid. A little more straight down bourbon road, right? This doesn't have anything like this one had a little bit of that kind of more molasses rummy tone that it was picking up early in that RC Cola thing, and it had a lot of fun components in there. This one doesn't have any like I said, it's a little more round. It's not wild at all. It's just enjoyable. But medium viscosity. Yeah, fairly similar in viscosity. But boy, that oak comes on early here. As soon as you take that in, you get that brown sugar, that molasses tone. Boom, here comes that big oak. A little bit of anise right there with it. Clove behind the anise, or anise, however you like to say it. Little bit of orange oil. No real, yeah, that little apple cider is just that drop. Salted caramel, you'll pick that up. Orange oil. But the clove and anise is really nice playing in there. But if you notice, the one thing I haven't said is, again, marshmallows or anything like that. It doesn't hit me like toasted marshmallows. It hits me like a really good, enjoyable bourbon with a little more kind of, maybe a touch more vanilla, definitely more char, more oak, and more leather than I'm typically find on a lot of Penelope stuff. Yeah, that's really good. Very happy with that. I like them both for different reasons. So again, I think you should probably pick them both up, to be honest. If you see that, it's worth 100 after it breathes. After it breathes. And this one, man, 45, 50 bucks out the gate, not a problem at all. And if it gets better in another month, who knows, but it's already solid. So I hope you enjoyed this video review. If you did, and you can consider joining us over at patreon.com/LiquorHound, I'd greatly appreciate it, because for as little as $5 a month, again, you're going to help me purchase these bottles to review for you. And you know what? That's how I give you straight, unbiased reviews, as I've always done. Now, of course, you're going to get these videos ad-free 2 weeks early. You're going to get them the whole private review library, be able to direct message me there, as far as if you have questions direct, you can hit me up right there. But I greatly appreciate each and every one of my viewers. Keep leaving all those great comments, and I'll get back to them just as soon as I can. Everyone have a great day, and cheers.